in the past, and it looks a little different this year. And we missed the banquet completely for some reason. And a few of you don't know very much about the Filk Hall of Fame probably at all. So David wanted a little review. First of all, thank you for the nominations. We got more than we expected to this year. And they're always gratifying because, of course, we base our voting and our citations upon those nominations. So they are absolutely critical to come to us. In January, all of the accumulated nominations, including ones held over from previous years of somebody who hasn't yet been inducted, go out to our jury. Now, who are the jury? The jury are a representative. It could be a committee with one spokesperson or just one individual from each of the Filk conventions around the world. So that's our jury. And we ask them to review the very, very, very long file of nominations that have accumulated and to make 5 selections from Sally's heckling me.
50 pages.
And yeah, it's 50 pages long now. And make 5 choices from that. We tally those votes, and those become the ones who get the highest number of votes for that particular jury of that particular year are the people who are inducted. Now, we only induct 3 people a year, partly because there is a cost involved. Okay, so I will add to that. Filk Ontario's CONCOM does not have anything else to say beyond delivering the one set of votes. We don't change the results, we don't alter the results. But then we get the fun job of writing up the citations, and that's always, actually, it's kind of joyous. You get to find out a lot about the history of the Filk community and what awesome things people are doing in the Filk community.
What Judith didn't say there was that the jury don't even know themselves who's getting inducted until I phone the inductee. Okay, I don't even let them know. Judith knows because she's helping me with find phone numbers and messaging people for me and stuff like that. So I thought you should know that. Once I've talked to everybody, and sometimes that's hard because they might live in a different country, as it's happened, I then tell the jury.
In any case, the concert is also going to look a little bit different because we're going to invite each inductee. Actually, we're going to read the citations, and then we're going to invite each inductee to make an acceptance speech. 2 minutes is more than adequate. If you want to say more, that's fine. And then ask people to do just 2 songs afterwards. And I think everybody knows about that. All of the inductees know about that. And after that, we're going to have a variation on a Hall of Fame concert. We're just going to invite anybody who is already an inductee of the Hall of Fame to have the opportunity to sing a song. Just one, but let's sing a song. And please remember that this mic is live.
Yes, I know.
Okay. And so I guess we should proceed, and I shall call Sally to speak.
If Julianne is here.
Could you stop talking out loud?
I'm going to take over the microphones for a minute. I just want to make a short announcement. We're going to do this a little different than we did for the main concerts. I'd really like to see everybody willing to do a little bit of audio reaction whenever we hear about the inductees. And I'm going to open up all the mics to everybody and see if we can cheer on our new inductees. But I'm going to just open the mic first of all to Peggy. Is it Peggy? Yeah, Peggy's going to read the first nomination, right? Where is Peggy?
I'm right here. I just unmuted myself. Okay, are we all ready for this? Juliana McCorrison, has been attending science fiction conventions since 1981, sometimes under the name of EJ or Eliza J. She's been involved with Filk at such cons as VCon, DreamCon, RustyCon, Oricon, and NorwestCon, both in the Filk room and panels. In 2000, Juliana opened her home in Victoria and invited Filkers from all over to come to a weekend-long house Filk. This was the inception of a 10-year tradition that became known as Pond Filk, the Pacific Northwest's first Filk convention. Juliana and her husband Douglas hosted.
Sorry, your mic has gone out, Peggy.
Okay, where did you lose me?
After the Northwest.
Okay. This was the inception of a 10-year tradition that became known as Pond Filk, the Pacific Northwest's first Filk convention. Juliana and her husband Douglas hosted the event in their own home, creating an intimate, magical gathering. She's hosted many other house Filks there as well. Juliana and Douglas also gave the seed money for the first year of conflict, the first Washington State Filk convention. Juliana encourages Filkers with her generosity and hospitality and has given musical instruments, including a banjomer, to beginning Filkers. But this is only a small part of the encouragement she's given to others in creating music. She gently encourages many Filkers who have since become performers in their own right, does backup for others' performances, and knows what people need and, more importantly, where it can be found. Juliana is a fine performer. She has recorded a CD, Not Just Lullabies from Planet Earth, with an assortment of musicians she has gathered around her. Her band, We're Not Coy, has been delighting audiences across the continent in the past few years. She has covered songs and other instrumentals from other Filkers and has also served as a recording engineer for her own album and other projects. Juliana has also been the Pacific Northwest representative to Interfilk and runs the Interfilk auction at Conflict each year. For these contributions to Filk music and the Filk community, Juliana McCorson is inducted into the Filk Hall of Fame this 26th day of April, 2020.
Hey.
Hey!
Oh.
Hello.
Okay, Juliana, go ahead.
Apparently I'm Julianne, but I haven't actually received Julianne's.
Juliana.
Juliana is here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Juliana.
Hi. Can you hear me and see me?
Yes.
That is wonderful. Is this the point at which I give my acceptance speech?
If you accept, of course.
Okay. Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, I'd like to acknowledge the Filk Hall of Fame Selection Committee, the Filkers that nominated me, and my partner and husband, Douglas McCarson, who worked with me for the last 20 years. Without Douglas musically and emotionally supporting me, it would not have been possible for me to perform or support our mutual musical interests. He gave me the confidence to sing and write and record and to build pondside music and continue to host house concerts in Pond Filk for 10 years. He kept me alive when breathing was of no interest. I'm a very lucky woman. This award belongs to him too, although I'm the one that gets to say thank you. I'd also like to thank Sunny Larson, who graciously agreed to perform a couple of my songs. They are safe in her hands.
Hey!
Bless.
Here.
Sunny, are you there?
Oh, I'm here. Is this it? This is now when I do it? Okay. Juliana asked me to perform two of her Anne McCaffrey songs. So we're going to start with Dragon Time. Rise up, green shimmering grass, with delicate wings that sting like a glass. When stroked, we go higher, our dart left and right, with speed quite amazing, with speed like bright light. I ride astride and cling to the strap that encircles your neck and my waist to entrap me safe here on scales opalescent and hard that ripple in sunlight, perfect and adorned. Where shall we go? High or so low as to sink beneath oceans and skim along sand to summon the mermaids who swim far from land? Or would you prefer the heights of the sky to coast on the wind and later to try a dive through the clouds that swirl as they hover with me on your back? There's close songs on lover, the stars seem to beckon as we choose the night, as cities and mountains and seas towards light. He sparkles behind us, the glow beckons on. We race through the air for rose-colored dawn. Where shall we go? Up high or so low as to sink beneath oceans and skim along sand to summon the mermaids who swim far from land. Back to your cave where no one can follow, deep in the mountains, an awesome black hollow that echoes a beat of your wings as you glide. Landing and rest there while I will slide down on your wings to the cold legend floor to walk through the jewels and silver and more. Where shall we go? Up high or so low as to sink beneath oceans and skim along sand to summon the mermaids who swim far from land. The moon beaming down and grows warm in your tail, contented and sleepy under crystallized veil. Your flame always there, our thoughts full of rhyme, to figments of thought that exist out of time. Where shall we go? Up high or so low as to sink beneath oceans and skim along sand to summon the mermaids who swim far from land. Where shall we go? Up high or so low as to sink beneath oceans and swim along fine to figments of thought that exist out of time. Thank you.
And I want to say thanks again to Juliana for trusting me with her songs. All right. And the other song I'm going to be playing for her is The Ballad of Threadfall. The dragons all flew out to fight. We prayed for the stars to give them light, for they'd plenty of thread to burn that night before it reached the ground. Oh, ground, oh, ground, oh, plenty of thread to burn that night before it reached the ground. Oh, they flew up high to meet the thread before the ground became its bed. For if it, the dirt was dead, 'cause thread will always burrow, burrow, burrow. For if it, the dirt was dead, 'cause thread will always burrow. The gold flew high, she dipped and swooped. With brands behind, they looped the loop, and all the way gave out a whoop as the thread began to burn. Oh, burn, oh, burn, oh. All the way gave out a whoop as the thread began to burn. The bronze fell back, his wings all scorned, as falling thread through skin it poured. But his rider was a wereborn lord who took him in between, oh, between, oh, between, oh. His rider was a wereborn lord who took him in between, oh. Between the air was black and cold, it stopped the heart and chilled the soul, but they both came back, so I've been told, to fight another day. Oh, day, oh, day, oh. They both came back, so I've been told, to fight another day. Oh. Now Threadfall's gone away at last, until it makes another pass. Our dragons green and eat at last, as the werefolk all rejoice, oh, rejoice, oh, rejoice, oh. Our dragons green and eat at last, as the werefolk all rejoice, oh. Remember this, our little tale. When the thread is gone, the thread is pale, but the dragons remain to save your tales. When the thread comes down again, oh, again, oh, again, oh. The dragons remain to save your tales. When the thread comes down again, oh. So hearken to my harper's call, and time the measure, give your all. For be sure again the thread will fall. Prepare then for the morrow, morrow, morrow. For be sure again the thread will fall. Prepare then for the morrow. Prepare then.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sunny. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
Ken, could you unmute Juliana again, or Juliana again?
I
for
did,
just a
yeah.
moment?
I think I did.
Go ahead, Juliana.
And you went, there we go. Thank you so much, Sunny. That was absolutely wonderful. That was more than I could ever have hoped for.
You're up.
I should now like to call to the podium myself, and it's my desk, not my podium, but it is my pleasure to do the next citation for a person who I am extremely fond of. Rob Wynn has been an enthusiastic and multifaceted pillar of the Filk community for many years. He found Filk around 1987 and began attending FilkCons in 1995, while also lurking on online discussions. Rob can lurk really well. He is a prolific and talented songwriter and performer with a particular penchant for mischievous parody. He writes songs in, about, and for the Filk community and maintains an archive of them on his website, autographedcat.com. He and his partner Larissa are the heart and soul of, pardon me. Rob also writes Filk album reviews and Filk interest articles for Aphelion, an SF webzine, and works as their webmaven features editor. He and his partner Larissa are the heart and soul of Gefilk. He has been on the Gefilk ConCom from 2000 to 2008 as programming director and con-chair from 2009 to present, despite having moved to Seattle. Rob also has run the convention's very entertaining game show, My Filk, based on trivia from the Filk community, which also helps preserve our shared history. More recently, he has, it says joined, but I'm going to say he's been dragooned onto the board of directors of Interfilk. Rob is co-founder of FilkNet, which includes support for a private IRC network hosting hashtag FilkHaven and Filk-related mailing lists. FilkHaven became a virtual meeting place for Filkers worldwide. Rob is also the administrator of a chat server in that network. It was, for a long time, an online meeting point for the Filk community, which provided an opportunity for Filkers around the world to meet one another and interact. Rob's vigilant but relaxed style of moderation made it a safe and enjoyable place where many friendships were born and flourished. In 2017, FilkHaven was revived on Discord and is again a gathering spot for the Filk community. More recently, Rob started moderating a Facebook group for Filkers, also based on the principles of kindness and courtesy that Rob embodies. Whenever he's at a convention, Rob takes pictures of all the events he's at. He posts those, a con report, and a collection of others' con reports to a community archives, sharing the biggest communal picture of Filk he can. It may seem like a small thing, but it speaks volumes about his viewpoint and attitude towards Filk and other Filkers. He has been hosting regular house Filk since 1999, even spontaneously holding them when Filkers are visiting in town. Rob is a welcoming presence at many cons, and he is truly a gentle but powerful force for good within the Filk community. For these reasons, Rob Wynn is inducted into the Filk Hall of Fame this 26th day of April, 2020.
Yes. Yes.
Hey.
Ovation.
Absolutely.
We stand up, you'll be.
Rob, I think I got you unmuted. Just a minute. Unmute. There we are. Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, thank you.
Wow. This is obviously a tremendous, tremendous honor. I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee. I want to thank everybody who sent in nominations. You know, I've been involved in the sausage making behind the scenes of this, so I've seen, you know, the care and diligence that the Hall of Fame committee takes to this entire process, and knowing where the nominations came from and the people who sent those in, it's very humbling. As mentioned, I first discovered Filk in 1987, and the way I discovered Filk is I was at a convention in Roanoke, Virginia, and it was one of those cons. There was no Filk programming at the con because there was no programming after 6 p.m. They rolled the sidewalks up, And I was bored and wandering around a hotel looking for anything to do. And I passed an open hotel room door. And inside were 3 people with a guitar who were sharing the guitar around and singing songs. And so I stopped to listen. And one of them noticed me and said, "Hey, come on in and join us." And I think that those simple words are the thing I love best about this community. When we see somebody lurking around the edges of our circles, we say, "Hey, come on in and join us. Take a seat. You can be part of all of this, and we welcome you." And that is what I've tried to foster in all of the things that I've done with the community since I became part of it, is finding ways to make it more welcoming to more people. And bring people in to see what it is we do, and they can enjoy it. The super secret guest program at Filk was a brainstorm of mine and Bill and Brenda's largely, because we wanted an excuse to invite Lois McMaster Bujold to a FilkCon. And we've kept the tradition up since we started doing that, of bringing in people who wouldn't normally necessarily get invited to a FilkCon these days, but who we know would enjoy it if they had an opportunity to just hang out with us for a weekend. Filk Haven on Discord is a place where, you know, especially these days, where we're all kind of kept apart and we can't gather, it's another place we can come together and keep up with each other and check in and see how we're doing. So all of those things are just so important to me, because this community has given so much to me. I met my partner Larissa because of Filk. So many friends and family, Bill and Brenda Sutton, Gwen Knighton are people that I only met because I was connected to this community, and wouldn't have them in my life otherwise. So that's really what I wanted to say about all of this, is the community is so giving and has given me so much, and it's the only thing I can do to try to give back as much as I can. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Judith, you can take it away. Or...
Very briefly,
What was I going to say?
Rob, you're up for 2 songs.
Just a minute. You're you're muted. Let me unmute you.
All right, there
Just
we
a
go.
minute. Okay.
So, in addition to filking, I'm also a gamer. Been playing various role-playing games since I was 12, and recently got involved in a new campaign here in Seattle with Aaron and Sunny and Shauna and Paul Quinn and a bunch of wonderful folks. So this is a song I wrote a long time ago about a friend of mine who was the first person who ever survived our first adventure into a dungeon with the dungeon master we were playing with at the time. It was a thing. And this is called Dungeonville. Down in the cavern, far from the taverns, it's cold and lonely down here in the dark. Monsters all around, making some strange sounds. Now I know this is no walk in the park. Hiding away again down here in Dungeonville. Hoping my luck doesn't turn for the worse. Some people claim there's a fortune to gain, but I know we'll have to find it first. Monsters are hairy, they're big and they're scary. I try to avoid them whenever I can. While if I am fast, then I can sneak past them. It's all part of my master plan. Hiding away again down here in Dungeonville. Hoping my luck doesn't turn for the worse. Some people claim there's a fortune to gain, but I know I'll have to find it first. Some of the fighters prefer armor brighter, but I like my dusty old leather just fine. While the others are fighting, I'll be alighting out the back door with all I can find. Running away again straight out of Dungeonville. Thankful my luck didn't turn for the worse. Some people claim there was a fortune to gain. They were right, except that I got there first. Yeah, some people claim there was a fortune to gain. They were right, except that I got there first. Thank you. And that is how Jeff Thief managed to survive the adventure. We were all fighting the bad guy. He scooped up a bunch of stuff and took off. Never saw him again. Because we were dead. This next song is one that I wrote and then put away for a while and came back and finished, which happens a lot with me. And while it was loosely inspired by something that actually happened, I want to go up front and say no one was ever this rude to me. So but it's a song about Filk, and it's to the tune of Secondhand Songs by Jonathan Turner. And if you're not familiar with that song itself, which is also about Filk, highly recommend it because it's a fabulous song. This is more about one's grasp exceeding one's reach, or if I got that backwards. It's called 13 Chord Songs. Actually, much as I love seeing all of you, I'm going to put my words in front of me just in case. Singing songs in the Filk circle, I hear a tune that's quite new, and I know at first listen it's one I'd like to do. I can't decipher the way it should go, so I ask for the chords. He looks at me bored and says, well, you know, I write 13 chord songs and tunings bizarre. Don't expect you to play them. You won't know what they are. The patterns aren't simple. It's 7/4 time it's long. Oh, your fingers will burn if you sit down to learn one of my 13 chord songs. Well, I'm not much with an instrument. I guess I play well enough. All my strumming is simple. Sometimes my changes are rough. The song that he's playing remains just out of my reach. I'm put to the test. I'll still do my best as I struggle with each of these 13 chord songs, songs with rhythms complex. I don't know why I try them. They always leave me quite vexed. My fingers are cramping, still I soldier along as I try to wrest a tune from this mess of a 13 chord song. So I went to my best friend. He plays much better than me. He said this song's not as tricky as he'd like you to believe. Half these chords are for color, and these two just for show. Slap a capo on 3, now the whole thing's in G and you're ready to go. With this now 4 chord song, the amusement, the arrangement is spare. It isn't as nuanced, but I don't really care. 'Cause now I can play it, and it doesn't sound wrong. You can keep all your tricks and your riffs and your licks in your 13 chord songs. You can keep all your licks and your riffs and your tricks in that 13 chord song. Though it's now down to 4, I need stamina more. It's still an 8-minute song.
Is it textually or? Hi, Luke.
Hey, the person who inspired that.
I'm listening to this.
I was just saying the guy who inspired that was actually trying to be very helpful. He was just very busy. So when I asked him for the chords, he said, "Oh, I don't have a lead sheet made up. I don't use them, but I can give you enough to get you started." This isn't an open C minor tuning, and I was just like, okay, I'm out. Anyway, thank you so much, FilKONtari-No. This was going to be the year I finally came to FilKONtari-No, and I'm absolutely hoping to be there next year and tick that one off my box. You guys are amazing, and I love you all.
Well, on behalf of FilKONtari-No, thank you for that. But it's people from all over the world who send the nominations in, and the juries, it's everybody. In any case, you should be happy to know, Rob, that your acceptance speech made my husband tear up. And now I'll call on Ken to come to the podium.
Hello. Yeah, I'm here, I think. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Just trying to get my video on screen. And I'm going to read this. The filker currently, who styles himself Blind Lemming Chiffon, has been writing and making filk music for and sharing music with the filk community for decades under various names. Apparently his first experience of convention filking was at the Penulticon 2 in May of 1979. It was soon followed by his first Worldcon at Brighton in 1979, according to his song, Ballad of Seacon. His wealth of creative songs has been covered by many other well-known filkers, including Kathy Marr. He has self-produced several CDs of his own songs, and many of his songs have been published on Xenofilkia. Much of his work is parody and lighthearted. However, That Old Filk of Mine was one of his best is a bittersweet retrospective piece. While he often wants to be overlooked, is very unassuming, and would like people to think he cannot sing, his performance always brings a smile or a tear to those listening. He's been hosting house filks in the Denver area since the 1980s and helped run the Denver Worldcon in 2008. He continues to be a loud and frequent voice for filk, and occasionally when a filker or folk performer comes to the Denver area, Lem welcomes them with a house concert for their benefit. He's made a point of attending SF conventions all over the world, including many FilkCons, WorldCons, NASFICs, and others. He was the Interfilk guest at FilKONtari-No in 2004 and has managed to attend our convention every year since then. He also owns an extremely large collection of filk, all of which he is paid for to support the artists. And Lem himself plays a multitude of musical instruments and is a master of most of them. These include mandolins, banjos of various sizes, sitterns, 6 and 12-string guitars, 3 or 4 variations on the ukulele theme. He especially promotes the ukulele as a serious instrument as much as a guitar. Lem's style of delivery might tempt one to think his original songs and lyric alterations lightly, but one should not be fooled. His lyrics are usually both well-crafted and very thoughtful. One more page here. For these contributions to filk music and the filk community, Blind Lemming Chiffon is inducted into the Filk Hall of Fame this 26th day of April, 2020.
Anything else?
Let's go over the living room.
I'm gonna. So, Lem, you take it away.
Where should I take it? Well, I'll take it right here to my living room.
To the World Wide Web.
You're right here again. This is the picture, and I'm wearing it on my shirt as well. So I'm very proud of that, and I'm very proud of this. And I thank you all so much, and I thank you for all the wonderful lies. There is something that Tom Waits said in a song. I tell you all my secrets, but I lie about my past. So, yeah, so now that colors everything I'm going to tell you now. First of all, I did not actually prepare a speech. I made a little list of points that I wanted to make, but I'm improvising here. Okay, so the reason I didn't prepare a speech, Barry and Sally already said it all. There's nothing more to be said after their speech. I mean, you can't compete. Barry and Sally, that was one heck of a speech. Thank you for that. Oh, and congratulations to Rob and to Juliana. So deserved. Thank you so much. I got this call in January from Dave, and it got me to thinking, wow, do I actually deserve this? What can I do? What can I do to actually be deserving of this? Which somehow, in a very strange moment in time, led to this Festival of the Living Rooms, which has led to other things, and which has led to FilKONtari-No Online, which brings us right here to this very moment. And so I want to talk about the future. May 1st, I'm having a house concert online. You can, it's on the Festival of the Living Rooms. It's on my feed on Facebook. You can look it up. You're all invited. You can pay or not pay. It's a house concert online. I'm doing another one already, and I can't say who it is because it's not announced yet, but there's one at the end of May, most likely sometime. And other than that, pretty much everything I have to say is in my songs and not in my speech.
Okay, we'll take it away, and why don't you give us a little bit of concert or taste of some of your songs? Not that we haven't heard them before.
Oh, you may have and you may not have. Let's see. No, that's not the right button. Pushing the right button. There. That one. And, oh dear. Okay, that one. I just realized I haven't practiced. Oh dear, I didn't have time to practice this morning. It was on my list of things to do. One night I had a dream. I dreamed I went to Filker Heaven. Dave Holloway was at the gate, shook my hand, said, "Lemming, you've been expected. Let me flag you down a ride to show you this heavenly con." So John Caspel pulled up on his motorcycle, rocket powered thanks to Jordan Kerr, and he said, "Lemming, hop on." I gave him my best "good to see you, man." "Filker up," responded John. "We don't have too much time, and there's a whole lot of stuff we gotta get done. By the way, welcome to HeavenCon." I said, "Hey, look there, it's Yoda with Riley Ortega running the con suite. Let's stop and grab a soda." We grabbed a couple of Cokes. No Pepsi, real sugar, they didn't have diet. Bill Marichello had an instrument I'd never heard of, and he asked me if I'd like to try it. Playing Lemmings on a vintage Mac, right there in that place. Paul Anderson, Gordy Dixon, Ted Johnston, Bruce Day. Unload your guitar case, steal a good tune if you hear one. Give your song ideas away if you got a spare one. Excuse me. There's a big con going on between cloud 7 and 11. Go down a hallway and then turn left. You'll be in Filker Heaven. I said, "Hey, this is nice, John, but let's get going. I'd like to get to the circle." He said, "Okay, don't forget your guitar, and hey, you know you're turning a little purple." I heard Rennie Levine say, "You know the problem with these Filkers down on Earth? Too much ose, and not enough cheery verse after verse after verse." I got all set up to play in the circle. I was trying not to blush, because I don't like to be a critic, but yeah, I knew what she was speaking of. And Sidney McQuillan joined the circle, sang a duet with Alan Sherman. Karen Anderson cried out, "Oliver!" But there was someone more determined. Zonda sang Sam's song with new verses, and Diane gave her a tiara and proclaimed her a pretty, pretty princess. And Harold Stein and Karis recorded every song. Then John said it was time to go. I got back on the bike and said, "Okay, John, there's one thing I gotta know. Why did so many die so young and join that heavenly band?" He said, "Man, we gotta have stories and songs, don't you get it? All the angels are fans. Unload your guitar case, steal a good tune if you hear one. Give your song ideas away if you got a spare one. There's a big con going on between cloud 7 and 11. It's down this hallway and then turn left and you'll be in Filker Heaven." We passed by a writers' conference. The camp, Garrett, Asimov. I said, John, why are these guys hanging out here at this big FilkCon? John explained how in the old days the divisions weren't so clear. How all the fans used to write Filk songs, and it's still that way up here. I said, okay, I'd like to stay here, John. Get me a room on that Filk Writers blog. He said, no way that's gonna happen, Lemming, and don't go into shock. But Lemming, this is only a dream for you. You're gonna have to move on. Because tomorrow morning you're gonna wake up in Denver, Colorado, back at GehennaCon. Oh man, I felt like crying. Like at a Filk on a Sunday night. About the time I'm trying to sneak out the door, trying not to say goodbye. I said to him, thank you, John, for all of this attention. And then I said goodbye to Gail Barton, Renee Alper, Deborah Kirby, Sue Landerman, Lee Billings, Abby, Downtown Freddie Brown. And just a moment of silence for all those folks that I just don't have the time to mention. I'm sorry. Unload your guitar case, steal a good tune if you hear one. Give your song ideas away if you have a spare one. There's a big con going on between clouds 7 and 11. It's down a hallway, then turn left. You'll be in Filker heaven.
Make us cry.
All right.
A lot the first time I sang that one. That was a parody of a song many of you have not heard by, what's the guy's name? It's called Singer-Songwriter Heaven by Kevin Faherty. And you should look him up, he's very good. This one's a parody of When I Go by Dave Carter. Sit in the circle and don't say a thing. I must hear pretty music while I'm here. When it's your turn, be ready to sing. I must listen intently while I'm here. You may bellow like a banshee or sing loudly and off key, or if you're a talented professional, it's all the same to me. I must pounce upon your songs and I'll absorb them like a sponge. The celebration never quite gets done. The circle must go on while I'm here. Soon to be my turn, ready to go. I will strum ukulele when I'm here. Fire burns within me, soft, steady glow. I must sing you my new song while I'm here. I must catch another airplane. I must see my friends again, singing broken voice at 4 a.m., just like a dog in pain. I must take a dose of strong caffeine, stay up till dawn is near. I'll post my new song on the internet. Hope someone out there likes it while I'm here. It's 7 in at last it's time to sleep. There's a sign upon my doorknob and a solemn vow to keep. For the sound of roaring vacuum cleaners, that's the thing I fear. And I must bundle up, wear earplugs, and let no light disturb my slumber while I'm here. Daytime, the concerts, hearing my friends, hope they'll let me sing with them while I'm here. Worlds of dreams where the song never ends. I must sit till my back hurts while I'm here. And should you hear me sing a song you like, no matter how absurd, please don't be afraid to tell me or ask me for the words. I'll accept your admiration if it's honest and sincere. And if you don't like my singing, you can just keep your mouth shut while I'm here.
Thank you very much, Lem.
I was surprised that
Twice. Oh. Thank you again, Lem.
Oh, no, thank you.
Okay. Well, that just about concludes our Filk Hall of Fame section of the convention. Of course, we will do this all over again next year, along with 3 other inductees. So juggling that concert will be my challenge for next year. As always, thank you to the juries. Thank you to the people who nominated. I thank my husband, who does most of the running of this little show. And I thank all of you who tuned in. Someone made the point that it was Lem who started this nonsense of having Filk online and Filk conventions online. And that's where the idea came from. And it all happened after he was voted into the Filk Hall of Fame. So that's just sort of a weird little happenstance. I'm really happy that you made that comment about that was wanting to do something that you felt deserved to be in the Filk Hall of Fame was your motivation, or part of your motivation behind taking the convention, taking consonants online. Okay, now we have some.
To talk about
what? Sorry.
Where they can see Barry's.
If anybody remembers that reference to Barry and Sally Childs Helton's acceptance speech, it is a thing of beauty, and it is one of just a couple that we have posted to the Filk Hall of Fame portion of the Filk Ontario website. And I have to tell you that sitting here, I'm doing what I do every year, and I can't make eye contact with anybody, and it's just creeping me out a little bit. But anyway, you've probably all had that, but I haven't been up here doing anything, significant public-wise. Anyway, we will get on with a short session of Filks. Anybody who's a member of the Filk Hall of Fame who would like to contribute a song, you are welcome to do so now.
Put up your hand.
Put up your hand.
Get rid of this so we won't see it. Get rid of this. Get rid of this chat. We won't see their hands. Oh, there they go. Mark, Howard, Tom. Okay, we've only got a half an hour. So the first one up was, I thought, Mark.
Probably.
But he's not there anymore.
Yeah, the first hand up was Mark Bernstein. He's back again.
I think I raised it and then accidentally lowered it and then re-raised it again. Okay, so time's a wasting. There's one I would always do in this circumstance. It's frustrating that I won't be able to hear anyone, but please, if you want to And Noah, please do sing along while you're muted. Hi, it's good to see you. No, we haven't met, but I've worn the expression I see there on your face, that mix of hope and wonder and a little fear and doubt that most of us remember from when we first found this place. It's really just a small town, though it stretches round the globe, and the village square's a circle like the one you're in today. And it's thrilling and it's daunting as you try to take it in. So I thought that I should stop and smile and take your hand and say, welcome home. Though your face may be new, welcome home. We've been waiting for you. Take your place and sing your song here. There's no way to do it wrong here. Welcome home, you do belong here. Welcome home, welcome home. Yes, we'd love to hear you. No, that's not a rule. Whether you perform or not will always be your choice. But if you feel the yearning and don't know where to start, maybe we can sit with you and help you find your voice. Some write, some sing, some strum or bow, and some can do it all. But all of us are listeners, and that's what makes us strong. And if the key's elusive, well, that will come with time. Just sing for joy and for yourself, and we'll all sing along. Welcome home, though your face may be new. Welcome home. We've been waiting for you. Take your place and sing your song here. There's no way to do it wrong here. Welcome home, you do belong here. Welcome home, welcome home. We'll try to keep you safe here, but people make mistakes. There may be times we're thoughtless and leave you sick and sore. We hope that you'll forgive us and take the risk again of letting music draw you in to sit with us once more. And if you've come to listen and maybe harmonize, we thank you and we value you, for we know what you bring. Community is sharing, joy shared is multiplied. And even when the mouth is still, the heart and soul can sing. So welcome to our village, welcome to our town. We hope you make new friends and find the things you love to do. And maybe as time passes, you'll find that it's your turn to offer up an empty seat and say to someone new, welcome home. Though your face may be new, welcome home. We've been waiting for you. Take your place and sing your song here. There's no way to do it wrong here. Welcome home, you do belong here. Welcome home, welcome home. Welcome home, welcome home. Welcome home, welcome home. Thank you.
Thank you. That was lovely, Mark. I love that song. Next up in our Hall of Fame inductees concert is Howard Scrimger.
Someone commented earlier about keeping the old songs alive. They little knew of brotherhood, the faith of fighting men, who wants to prove their lie was good, hanged Colonel Jacques Chrétien. 1/4 of Rochemont's fighting strength, 1 battalion of Dorset, was sent by Rochemont forth alone to bleed Helmut and die. But look down from Rochemont's heights upon the Helmut plain, at all of Helmut's armored force by Dorset checked or slain. Look down on Rochemont's shame, to hide the wrong she'd done. Made claim that Helmut bribed Dorset, no battle had been won. To prove that lie, the Rochemont lords arrested Jacques Chrétien. On charge he dealt with Helmut's chiefs for payment to his men. Commandant Van sent word, you may not judge Dorset. Return our colonel by the dawn, or Rochemont town will die. Strong held behind their walls, Rochemont scorned to answer them. Condemned and at the daybreak hanged young Colonel Jacques Chrétien. Bright the sun that morning rose upon each weaponed wall. But when the sun set in the west, those walls were leveled all. Then soft and white the moon arose on streets and roofs unstained. But when that moon was down once more, no street nor roof remained. No more is there a Rochemont town, no more are Rochemont's men. But stands a Dorset monument to Colonel Jacques Chrétien. So pass the word from world to world, alone still stands Dorset. But while she lives, no one of hers by foreign wrong shall die. They little knew of brotherhood, the faith of fighting men, who wants to prove their lie was good, hanged Colonel Jacques Chrétien.
Next person up is Tom Jeffers.
You hear me? Everybody hear me?
Yep.
I think it's fitting I should do the very first folk song I ever wrote back in 1990 something or other. And no, it doesn't have 13 chords, so. Mysterious circles that come from above Might be a greeting from some celestial dove. Alien farmers in a strange unknown crowd, spinning and separating the wheat from the chaff. Circles in the grain going round and round. Nocturnal revolution down on the ground. Circles in the grain, look up in the air. If you look tomorrow, will they still be there? Turbulent forces from a dark, starry sky. Tiny balls of wind from an atmospheric eye. Leaving their artwork for all those to see. Public set a symbol on a grassy sea. Circles in the grain going round and round. Nocturnal revolution down on the ground. Circles in the grain, look up in the air. If you look tomorrow, will they still be there? Stonehenge stands in all its mystical glory. Circular design, its never-ending story. Perhaps its creators were once thought insane when they worshipped all those circles in the grain. Circles in the grain going round and round. Nocturnal revolutions down on the ground. Circles in the grain, look up in the air. If you look tomorrow, will they still be there? Circles in the grain going round and round. Nocturnal revolution down on the ground. Circles in the grain, look up in the air. If you look tomorrow, will they still be there? Circles in the grain. Circles in the grain. Circles in the grain. Thank you.
Next up, we welcome Steve Savitsky.
Could you unmute me? Good. Okay. Can you hear me? Hopefully. Once there was a ship of stone that orbited a mighty star, and from it flew the first ship's crew, whose children we all are. And no matter how long we've drawn our track, still over our shoulder, looking back through the hydrogen's hiss, and the methane's moan. Past the polymer clouds of the dead star's shroud, all our roads run back to the ship of stone. There the first crew all were made and wakened from unknowing sleep by the boundless sight of heaven's height and the fires on the deep. And no matter how strange the forms we wear, how warped and wild, how rich and rare, how changed we've made the seed we've sown. We are blood of those whose singing rose from the body of the ship of stone. There our own ship's frames were formed to grow blue glowing wings and spread them wide to the farthest tide where the last lone beacon sings. And no matter how tight the net they knot of our web where the wheel of light is caught, how strange and lost, how grand they've grown. They too desire all heaven's fire, our companions since the ship of stone. Once there was a ship of stone, clear domed, broad hulled and clean, where the air shone blue, whose holes birds flew, whose decks were growing green. And no matter how odd these things may seem, as badly mazed as shards of dream, they are not a dream that you dream alone. All ships, all men are of one kin. We shall not forget the ship of stone.
Did you have a second song, Steve?
No, they're not doing two. No, they're only doing
Okay.
one. Only one.
Okay, Roberta, it's up to you.
Hey, I thought Randy.
No,
He came in after you.
He came in after.
Okay.
One song though, maybe.
I wrote this many years ago when the Voyager was showing us that all those marvelous things that we'd imagined were wrong. But we read the books anyway because they were so wonderful. A silver disc hangs in the sky. We look and wonder what's on high. A place where fairy people fly. We wonder what they'll say. But now we just go there and down. We bring a truck and drive around and plan to build a mining town and make the venture pay. We've seen the moon from both sides now. We know what's there, but still somehow it's science fiction we recall. We do not know the moon at all. A planet veiled in mystery, where Northwest Smith meets history, and Heinlein's creatures come to tea and wallow in the bay. But science says it's something else. A spaceship lands and quickly melts, and winds whip round and acid pelts through skies so dim and gray. That's Venus seen from both sides now. We know what's there, but still somehow it's science fiction we recall. We don't know Venus yet at all. Adventures happen in Barsoom. Canals are deep and mountains loom. And when ancient beings meet their doom and stagnate in decay, but we've seen sky and rocks are red. The instruments we've sent have said, there's no canal, the planet's dead. No need for us to stay. We've looked at Mars from both sides now. We know what's there, but still somehow it's science fiction we recall. We really don't know Mars at all. We people spaced with wondrous things, the products of imaginings, the heroes, poets, gods, and kings with which we love to play. But science says it's cold and bare. There are no gods, no heroes there, but only dust and empty air, and that will fade away. We've looked at space from both sides now. We know what's there, but still somehow it's science fiction we recall. It's why we go to space after all.
Thank you, Roberta. I don't think I've heard that one before. Okay.
I've only been seen.
Let us move on to Randy. Randy Hoffman?
Yep, I'm here. Okay. This is the third song I'm going to be performing this weekend that I'm hoping to have on the next album. And this is going out with a plea. I would really like to have a backing track for this. Kat wrote the original melody, but does not feel as though she can record a version that will be suitable for this. So anybody who wants, this is my lyric alteration for her wonderful song, Wings. Small on Pooh's doorstep, a lone figure stares, orange with black stripes and a roar that he shares. He calls himself Tigger and happily sings that under his butt he has springs. Winnie invites him to sleep on the floor. He don't know what looking glasses are for. The tablecloth subject to his ambushings. Under his butt he has springs. Pooh tries to fill his rumbly tummy. Tigger's, it seems, don't much like honey. Acorns, then Piglet offers bowls full. Tigger declines again, all doleful. So then to Eeyore's the pathway unwinds. Thistles are not breakfast either, he finds. To my house at last his coiled questing he brings. Under his butt he has springs. He goes through all my jars and boxes, finding one thing and others noxious, till I give my Joey his strengthener, and Tigger's tongue proves quite a lengthener. extract of malt is this Tigger's delight, which proves that he's not put together quite right. His top's made of rubber, there's no challenging, and under his butt he has springs. I had one son, now I guess it's two. I send him off exploring with Rue. He's a bouncy, trouncy, flouncy, pouncy creature with jumpy, bumpy, clumpy, thumpy features. Wishing I'd packed them a much bigger lunch. Kneeling, I fixed the last cupboard he crunched. We'll hope he's as one of a kind as he sings. Tigers break stuff when they springs.
Yay!
That's my folks.
Love it.
That was priceless. Very cute. And finally, I think this is going to be the last song. Yeah. Kathleen, are you there somewhere? Yes, no, maybe. Kathleen. It's not as easy to find her. She doesn't have her fancy colored hair anymore.
It's slightly purple now.
Perfect.
So my hairdresser gave me some shampoo that turns it colors. So it doesn't work quite as advertised, but that's okay. And this is kind of an appropriate thing to do. I don't know how many of you were at opening ceremonies. I wrote this song based on the acceptance speech that Barry and Sally did in 2000, was it 2004? I don't remember when they got inducted into the Hall of Fame. But no, it wasn't 2004 because I debuted this in 2004. So this is what I wrote, and it was born at Filk, Ontario, and the source material was from Filk, Ontario, and they have decided to have me open the convention with this. And so this will be the second time I will have sung it, but for anybody who hasn't read their speech, you should do that. So sing along, play along. By the way, Sally, I saw you playing along on your drum the first time, so that made me happy. Do you remember back when we were kids? We were artists and dancers and musicians all. We sang because we needed to, we danced because it gave us joy, made art to share our very selves with the world. Then as we grew older, it became very clear not all of us were good enough to make the grade. Our singing was sometimes off key, our dancing had a few missteps, our art was judged a bit too odd to share with the world. But we can take it back, take it back, take back the right to sing and play. It will fill your heart, it will feed your soul when you take back the right to sing and play. In a dozen other countries, no matter your age, you're encouraged and expected to create. Here in the West, we've been robbed of that choice. Come join our revolution, we found our own solution. You're all invited to participate. When we take it back, take it back, take back the right to sing and play. It will fill your heart, it will feed your soul when you take back the right to sing and play. We have broken the rules, we have carved out this space where skill is not the only measure of our worth. We're free to sing in circles here and dance if the spirit calls, make art once again and share ourselves with the world. We will take it back, take it back, take back the right to sing and play. It will fill your heart, it will feed your soul when you take back the right to sing and play. So welcome to our diverse little clan. Don't worry, you're not good enough, come grow with us. We'll help you with your melody. We'll catch you if you trip and fall. We'll celebrate the art you choose to share with the world. We will take it back. Take it back. Take back the right to sing and play. It will fill your heart. It will feed your soul. When you take back the right to sing and play. Take it back. Take it back. Take back the right to sing and play. It will fill your heart. It will feed your soul. When you take back the right to sing and play and make art. Take back the right to sing and play.
And that concludes our Filk Hall of Fame section of Filk Ontario, and I will pass things back to Sally to continue to do the rest of the afternoon.